Thursday, August the 7th, 2014. It is 9:05. We will have a moment of silent prayer, and immediately after, Mr. Williams will lead us in the pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. Have you had a chance to read the minutes from the previous meeting?
Yes, so I have to make a motion.
I will entertain a motion. You make a motion?
Yes.
Sorry. Motion has been made to accept the minutes of the previous meeting. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Accepted as read. Correspondence. Have a couple letters to read. Daughters Independent, to whom it may concern, recently the Daughters Independent was granted qualified paper status by the Office of West Virginia Secretary of State. All proper paperwork and affidavits have been filed with West Virginia Secretary of State's office in accordance with the law. We have also received our USPS periodical permit number 13160. All proper paperwork and circulation forms have been filed with the USPS in accordance with the law. This letter is to serve notice that we are able to handle all legal advertising in all classifications. We conform to the West Virginia Code, Chapter 59, Fees, Allowances, and Costs, Newspapers, Legal Advertisement, Article 3. Newspapers and legal advertisements as defined therein. Please contact us for legal rates and processing requirements. We will be happy to assist you in placing your legal advertisements. Sincerely yours, Michael Zorn. Okay? Justice Assistance Grant Award Ceremony, August 21st, 2014. You are cordially invited to a grant award ceremony hosted by Governor Tomlin in the Capitol Rotunda on Thursday, August 21st at 2 p.m. The Governor will be distributing a formal certificate in relation to your Justice Assistance Grant that began July 1, 2014. Your presence at this ceremony would be appreciated. Please RSVP to this email by no later than Monday, August the 11th, indicating your desire to attend along with the number of attendees. Please pass along to any and all interested parties associated with your program. This is a good opportunity to network as well as to get a picture with the Governor. Let me know if you have any questions. Thomas A. Hanson Jr., Senior Justice Program Specialist. Hey, Mr. Sheriff, pay attention to that because you and I are going. And any other commissioners?
I thought last night or sometime that it was October. They had said October.
August 21st.
Okay, then I can go too.
Okay. Sheriff is going.
They say what time?
2 o'clock.
So I need to call them, tell them 3 people come.
How many?
3.
Sheriff? Shirley don't want to go. Ralph? Sheriff? Grant? Anybody else want to go? That's your department that got the grant. You're going. Go get your picture and take it with the government. No questions asked, okay? Gas up the cruiser, we're going.
Does that mean it's gonna be a quick trip? Yeah, okay.
Put the lights on. Okay, we got a quote from State Electric Supply Company for the door down in the basement where the janitors are. Is that correct, David?
That is correct.
That's correct. Okay, we have a quote from State Electric Supply. The grand total of this whole deal is $3,854.87. And I understand from the clerk yesterday that this is very, very necessary for our security. Okay?
That's on your agenda for I.
Okay. Okay, correspondence. I have no more correspondence.
Well, is there anything necessary on the issue of the newspaper? Do we need to deal with that?
Well, you talked to him the same day I did. He said he couldn't be here at the meeting, so I didn't put him on the agenda for today. I didn't put it on. So
Would we have to have that on the agenda to probably act on it?
Decide if you wanted to do both or have.
Maybe we'll put it on next agenda then.
Okay. So now we move to public comment. We have one person that wishes to speak. Tammy Beamer.
Two things, and I know that she can write this down. How much was the DCA payroll for the month of July? And I don't see Beth here, so.
She and Polly got confused and thought the meeting was this evening, so they were doing the checks this morning. So she said, I will be over, but I'm going to be late.
Okay, the other thing is the webpage. I have sent the stuff that the group met and had the county, with the county IT person, the school IT person. I have sent that on to revise. We are in a holding pattern. I explained to revise that the training that need to take place it'll have to be the person who you guys appoint for your executive assistant, and there's no executive assistant yet. So, you know, that's the other question. Is there any chance of getting the executive assistant hired here pretty soon? And Butch did give me a card, and I'll contact that guy.
Who made the decision that it would be the executive assistant?
Well, somebody has to be appointed by the county commission to oversee this webpage. Okay, and I just assumed that it would be your executive assistant, because that would be who would be overseeing everything that is happening with you guys, because it is your webpage.
Well, yeah, and that may be true, but that obviously will be our decision. But we're not. I mean, we haven't gotten an assistant yet, so somebody should be named in the interim if that's what's necessary. It probably should be.
What's that?
Probably should be two anyway. An executive assistant
At the point where they come on board.
is going to be, at this point, part-time. So we need somebody else there.
I guess maybe my comment might be, maybe you could send a request for them to refund part of our money so that we could hold that until they finish their job. We expended the money 3 months ago, 4 months ago?
Oh, no, it's been back in December.
Okay.
That's whenever y'all, and I understand that fully, but we're still going to have somebody. I mean, you guys are going to have to make up your mind who, or somebody's going to have to volunteer to take care of it.
Was there somebody on that committee that...
No. I mean, this is going to be somebody that has to be within the business of this, unless David and Whitney.
What about Whitney?
I mean, this is going to take some time. And it will be a lot of responsibility.
I understand.
It can be, it just, it boils down to what that person would actually be doing. I mean, if it's just to go in and make some changes to some dates or to correct things that are incorrect, but if it's the person that's going to be, it depends on what the website is all that is going to have on it as to that person that's going to go in there and update and change like stuff on a daily basis. I mean, it could be a big job or it could be a little job. It just depends on how extensive
It's like
that
putting
website's
the
going to be.
minutes on, your budget stuff on. That'll be a bi-monthly thing. You have a
And I don't
calendar
know
on
that
there
the
that you
commission has
have.
ever approved that all that stuff was going to be on there immediately. I mean, I'm sure eventually.
Well, but you have to have somebody trained to do it.
Right.
And who's to say with, you know, Mariana and Marianne and I are all volunteers. And who, you know, you could train me, I would take the training, but who's to say that I have the responsibility to be there to do it?
Oh, no, it should be a county employee.
Yeah. Well,
Probably a county employee
and
that's bonded.
That's right.
I wouldn't expect you to take one of your employees and say, okay, half the time that you're spending here, we're going to have to allocate to this website and say to you, well, you know, just absorb it. I wouldn't expect you to do that. I would expect that, you know, if there is a, you know, an amount of time that we, you know, that we either adjust the wages or and get somebody to come in and help for the amount of time that she couldn't, if it's okay with her. But committee, you know, make the recommendation and we'll be happy to consider it. You know, I don't expect anything for free, so to speak. So, and then once the executive assistant comes on board, you know, we'll have a better idea at that point in time how much time it takes.
Right.
But that would be my recommendation to the committee to do that and come back with some kind of an idea. And if she just absolutely does not want to, then you know we've got to come up with somebody else.
Well, this will have we figured out we don't want a banner, we want a marquee. That was the word. By going to the IT guy, we found out what the actual wording of stuff that we were asking for was. And this will have a marquee that if you'll have a meeting, they can put commission meeting, such and such date. If there's flooding, it can go up, emergency shelters open, that type of thing. We can change this marquee to suit what is going on. And that's the main thing that I would be worried about, and the emergency services end of it. So
I'd say it has to be something. Personally, I'd say it has to be somebody who has access to the OES director and the other individuals in the county that.
And the other thing that they brought up whenever I was speaking with them, you asked at the LEPC meeting about how to contact people. This website has an add-on once it gets set up that you all can do if you want to. She was just telling us about this. That can do the automatic calls. If you want to notice, you just go in and give your cell phone number, and it's not really a call, it's a text message that sends emergency information through your cell phone. If you all want it. But that's something on down the line. But that was the other thing that she had presented, because we had just had the LEPC meeting whenever um, whenever I was back in contact with them.
Well, I don't know that it's going to matter to them, but the next time you correspond with them, tell them that I personally was under the impression that once we paid the dollars and that it could go through fairly quickly. And
Well,
it's
that's
already
that's
been-
what we thought too, and I believe David's the same way. But whenever we're sitting and saying that we want a banner, and they put this beautiful banner on the thing, and we're going, that's not a banner. It was a wording problem. They do have the new, with what Mr. McCullough come up with, they do have that now. Okay?
Well, maybe we'll see some progress, and if we don't, then I'll go back to my statement that maybe
Okay.
they can refund some of the money until they comply.
Public comment, Shirley? Nothing? Greg?
Nope.
Ralph? Nope. New business? Pat Easter, OES, going fishing. Sheriff? Process service. Got to speak to the microphone, sir, please.
With my big mouth, you'll be talking.
No, you got to be recorded,
All right.
so we can do the minutes. Make sure it's on. I don't hear you. I don't hear you.
I think it's on.
Speak. Talk.
Yeah.
Test. Okay, I got the estimate made up for the process service, server, and bailiff, all in one. Salary's $25,000 a year. Most of that's gonna be part-time, unless we would get into a lengthy trial or something. It would be, he or she would be working about 3 days a week. That's gonna free up probably 25 to 30 hours of my officer's time.
How many hours?
25 to 30.
Total.
Yes.
Total hours.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we can improve more.
I don't mean to interrupt, is that per week or?
Yeah, per week. Yeah,
Okay.
per week. Yeah, per week. Yeah, I've got everything on there. Uniforms, badges, bag logs, gun, everything's added in the estimate. Fuel is an estimated cost. You guys work with that?
Process server would be that, bailiff would be the same.
It's the same person. Yeah.
Same person.
Yeah, all the same.
How much is it total?
33 something.
33,257 is the total cost.
33, 250, that's for the year?
Yeah, that's for the year.
Okay, and this person is going to be trained as a deputy?
Not a deputy, he will be a process server and a bailiff for the court upstairs.
So he will have a gun?
Yes,
He'll know how to do all this?
yes.
Okay. Well, he or she?
He or she, yes.
Okay. All right.
When I asked about this, the purpose was to get someone for a period of time to concentrate on the oil and gas problems that have been brought to our attention. You're assuring us that will,
Yes, if we can get this done, I will dedicate one deputy to the oil and gas pads going around
yeah,
the roads and stuff.
the traffic, we get a lot of comments and complaints about people getting run off the road. And,
Whether they do or whether they don't, yeah,
yeah, I mean, yes, I understand that.
yes.
But at least we'll have somebody out there,
Yes. Control.
and also about the other activities, taking water out of the creeks when they're not supposed
Yeah,
to.
that's more of a DEP thing, but yeah, we will monitor it to see
Okay.
it, yeah.
Okay.
So my question is, when you hire this person, that's going to free up a deputy, you said?
Yes, 25, at least 25 hours a week. By the time you take the court upstairs and serving all the papers and stuff.
Okay, so it's not going to be a certain deputy, that's going to be, Whatever
I can
deputy.
dedicate one certain deputy if you want to.
well, it's up to you. I don't know how you're going to do it. I didn't ask you I don't know if he was gonna rotate or.
When it comes to serving papers, it's just whoever's working grabs them. And, usually it's an all-day thing.
This full time,
What?
I didn't catch the first of it, is this full time employee?
It's part-time. About 3 days a week unless we have a
It
trial.
has to be under 20 hours a week.
Okay. Okay. I'm fine with that.
Because if he's working, how many days a week would it take his bill?
If we don't get into a trial or something, you're looking about 1 day, sometimes every 2 weeks. And the rest of it will be process served.
Got a vehicle for his part?
Yes, he will have vehicle.
And that's already taken care of,
Yes.
or taken into account?
Yes, I will have it as soon as we get our truck back from Miller's. I'll have it free that vehicle.
Okay.
Okay. So, that sounds good. And I guess we'll be looking for some tickets to be,
More than we already have.
some tickets to be,
I'm right around 1,000 now for the year.
well, we need more. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, you do what you gotta do. Sounds like a good plan to me, okay?
Is this going to be published?
Yes, I will publish it,
You will
take
publish
application.
that?
Okay. Okay, I will move that we accept this estimate for the process server. I'll move that we, give the sheriff permission to hire this person and fulfill his duties. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried, Sheriff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Item C, release of DCAA equipment from lease agreement.
Okay, I just talked to Cole concerning that and the cardiac monitor. He said he doesn't have all the information that he needs. And he said when they got ready for all that, that the gentleman from Country Leasings would probably come before you all. So he will call me and let me know when to put that on the agenda. I just talked to him.
Okay. What kind of equipment are they going to release? Anybody know?
The old ambulance that, and I don't know the number of it,
Oh, okay.
but it's the one that broke down in the box,
Okay.
broke down, and I think the frame,
Okay.
but
So he said Jeff, I would, from Country Leasing,
Okay,
would
so-
probably come at that time. And I
Car-
said, well, you will let me know to put it on the agenda.
Cardiac monitor, that's going to be on the agenda later?
Yes.
Okay, item E.
well, let me mention something there.
Okay.
What, as I understand it, this cardiac monitor is very similar to what you're hooked up to when you're in the hospital. And it will transmit to the hospital your vital statistics, I guess you call it. And it will, if it's necessary that they open up a cardiac care room or whatever for you, it can be maybe done before you get there, whereas if you have to get there and hooked up, it may take a half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour. So I say that because that is something, well, number one, it's recommended, I think, by the state that we have that. You have to have cell service or Wi-Fi, which cell service would be about the only way here in the county. But once you get cell service here in the county, you're still half hour, 45 minutes away from the
Will
hospital.
this be just to the United Hospital Center?
I think that's primarily where we go, I think. And so, one thing that Beth had indicated to me, Beth Keller, We, and I don't want this to be misconstrued, but this past year has been one of the few, and Beth said probably the only time in your,
That we was able to meet our budget and haven't got our oil and gas yet.
right, we haven't got the oil and gas severance yet. We've already met the budget, and now, last year we had to, we had to find over $200,000, is that, if I recall right? We had to take $200,000 out of the 2013 and 2014 budget in order to meet our 2012, 2013 budget? Am I?
No, it was what we budgeted more than what we actually came in last year. So we had to take some of it. What we thought the surplus was going to be for the year before. Yes, you're right, it's been a year.
Yeah. So this year, we're in the opposite situation, and we've got, even without the severance tax, excuse me, we've met our budget, and we had 102,000, didn't you indicate?
It's more than that. We're going to do another 100. I don't have the number.
Well,
Earlier.
Make a long story short, in my opinion, this equipment is definitely going to benefit the people of the county, because that gives us a leg up on the care, especially, I guess it's the cardiac care, and that's, as I understand it, is a lot of the calls that are made. So, what I would like to see is for us to allocate the necessary money, and I believe it was about, I don't see anybody here.
25,000 each.
Pardon?
They were 25,000 each.
It was about $50,000 for 2 monitors. And so I would like to see us just go ahead and allocate that, and tell them to go ahead and order that, and then not worry about this lease agreement. So since this is on the agenda, I guess we can do that. I will move that we allocate the necessary money to purchase those monitors immediately for the use of the citizens of Doddridge County. Purchase 2.
That would go into different balances or?
Well, they're portable. They're portable. Pardon?
He said that he told me how to go and have one installed.
Oh, really?
I think that's what he told me.
Well, these are replacing old monitors, and the old monitors don't have the capability that the new monitors have.
Well, I guess you're saying they don't have money in their budget to do this, they need more money.
Ordinarily, this would be an equipment, an equipment purchase that they would come to the county commission for, or financing that they would come to the county commission for. Excuse me. Butch?
My understanding, I was at the meeting, my understanding is the only time that the transmittal can take place of the EKG to the hospital is whenever there's cell service or Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So you're talking, what, 40%, 50% of the county, you're not going to be able to transmit.
Right.
Okay? The difference between what they have now and what they are wanting is the fact that the new one has a built-in modem, where the old one they had to hook to the computers to send it in. Okay? That's the second thing. Third thing I have, and I'm going to ask it, has this been bid? Because there are other, this is over $15,000. There are other providers out there that might be able to provide the same thing for less. From my understanding, there was only one company that was involved in this.
I don't know, can't answer that, but I don't know.
I don't have any problem, I mean, if it needs to be bid, then it needs to be bid, and I don't have any problem with that. But I think we need to indicate that if the county commission approves the purchase of those, and like I say, the bid process probably could take place relatively quickly, and it's my understanding during that same meeting that the equipment that we have does not have the capability to transmit.
Unless, that's why they had the laptop computers, right? They pulled those out because they weren't using them, they weren't able to.
Yes, but I will.
Just one note, I've got a little bit of experience with these things. Make sure that when you allocate your money, if you're going to purchase them outright, make sure to include enough money for a service plan, a maintenance service plan. Because usually that's included within the leases, but they usually try to tag it separately if you're purchasing them outright. So just make sure you got a service plan.
Yeah, I think that was discussed, and I don't recall whether they indicated. I don't recall if the ambulance authority board of directors indicated that they could handle the maintenance. I mean, the cost of the maintenance plan. But the big factor is the initial purchase cost.
So I'm a little bit confused. I have a question. You're telling me that they have these units already, but not the new ones. They have a similar unit.
They have similar units, older units.
Oh,
Yes.
and what's wrong with that?
They can't transmit
Why?
because the units are not designed. They're the older
They don't
units.
have the modem to transmit.
It's it's just like anything else in electronics. And that question was asked, how good, how long is this new unit going to be effective? And what they're indicating is that it has much greater memory, and upgrades can be uploaded to a certain extent.
It's
So-
like a computer within the heart monitor. Okay, where the old ones didn't have that. You just had a screen readout. This actually has a built-in computer. Where the old one, they would come in and recalibrate and redo. The new one, they'll come in and reprogram. The only limitations to it are the size of the memory that's in it, okay? And she wasn't sure how much memory was there. But you asked a question about can they afford to do it. At the last meeting, they said that they had over $66,000 in the bank, and this was on their agenda, but it wasn't. They didn't approach it, did they? They didn't make a decision on whether to buy it or not.
Well, they were going to come to the county commission to request. I guess I just kind of circumvented that. And in my opinion, it's needed equipment, and I think we could go ahead and they were, if you've got a public agency, and let's say you do have $66,000 in the bank, and you take 50 of it, you are running a risk there of shortfall. And so they were going to come to the county commission to seek the county commission's approval to lease purchase this equipment.
Well, I'm not going to doubt anybody's word that they need it. That's not my intent. But I will say one thing, if they got that kind of money and they have not been reimbursed from the commission for anything at all, I would like to see them put up, if we're going to go for 50,000, I'd like to see them put up 25,000 and the commission put up 25,000. And I'd like to see it bid because it may not cost that much.
I agree with you that it should be bid. But there's, it's only a recent situation where they have that kind of money.
I know. Yeah.
They had been at times carrying $15,000 and $20,000, and I'd like to see a period of time. And as far as the reimbursement, I don't believe that in our annual budget that we budgeted any reimbursement from the ambulance authority.
Probably not.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
May I say one more thing? They were talking about trading the units that they had, and that's why they needed the release from Country Roads, because that's part of the lease purchase, to deduct money from the purchase, right? Is that?
The release of equipment was primarily the truck. Was my understanding.
Never.
But it may have been, and I don't know exactly what covered, what all was covered under the lease purchase agreement, what equipment was. I don't know.
Okay, Charlie, got anything to say?
I think they need to keep their own money because there might be another vehicle that needs replaced or something.
Well,
You never know what emergencies.
I understand that, but also understand that when they need a vehicle, they're coming to us to pay for it, and we gave them $70,000 for a vehicle.
But they didn't have the money.
I
But they didn't have the money.
understand that, but they got money now, and I'm just asking them to spend a little bit of it. That's all I'm asking.
I personally, I don't mean to interrupt.
That's okay.
I personally think that, like you, Butch, they're talking about needing another ambulance. I think we authorized 70,000, and was the cost 55 for the?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So they got maybe 15, and there may have been some additional costs. So let's say that the total cost of the ambulance is 60. They've still got 10 in the budget, and I would definitely agree that if they want to purchase another ambulance, that they participate in the cost. If you're talking 60,000 for another ambulance, they've got 10,000 that's already been authorized in the budget. You're down to 50. Let's look at some other day, or look at them participating. And I certainly agree to that with you on that. But in this case, we've got some extra money that we have to allocate, and I think that in this case, you're talking about saving or potentially saving lives of the citizens of Dodge County.
I understand. Not denying that, Greg.
Right.
Not denying that. I just, I'd like to see them use some of their money for some things that they need instead of, coming before the commission for everything that they need. They got some money, it's been, they have it. So what are they gonna do? Just keep raising up their funds and keep asking us? Let's give and take a little bit here. We've got plenty. We have gave plenty.
I agree, and I think I think in the case of the ambulance, I would agree with that. But if you ask them to participate in this, and then they use those funds and get back down to the amounts that they used to carry, then we're in a situation of having to do it all once again.
Well, isn't their old ambulance worth anything?
I think they indicated that was figured into the cost,
Oh, they,
I think.
well, you heard how I feel about it. Shirley has nothing to say, said they need it, so everybody knows where we stand. And you made a motion that we give them 50,000. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Or
Allocate the money.
allocate the up to 50,000.
Up to.
Up to 50,000.
So in other words, if it costs less, we give them less.
That's what I'm saying.
That's your motion. That's your motion.
That's my motion.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, nay. I vote nay. Okay. Item E, fees for permits outside the floodplain. Hello, Bo. You're up.
Okay. For fees outside the floodplain?
Fees
Maybe
for permits outside the floodplain.
Maybe what we ought to do is move that back, because I think, hadn't we asked April to review this particular issue?
Yeah, I don't have anything
Oh, okay.
prepared for that.
All right, okay. We'll just wait and see when April comes back, okay? We will wait on that one.
So we're tabling it.
Not tabling, just setting it back.
We're just
Later in the
She's-
day.
Later in the
She
day.
is supposed to, once she finishes the report, she's supposed to come down.
Okay. Okay. Item F, Justice Assistant Grant Award.
This is the JAG award for $20,000. Of course, it's been approved, but you have to authorize, again, it's like the other branch, they have to authorize Ralph to sign for the county commission on behalf. He has to be able to sign this on behalf of the commission.
You want me to read the resolution? Resolution is, the Commission of Doddridge County met on date with a quorum present and passed the following resolution. Be it resolved that the Commission of Doddridge County hereby authorizes Ralph Sandora, President of the Doddridge County Commission, to act on its behalf to enter into a contractual agreement with the Division of Justice and Community Services to receive and administer grant funds pursuant to the provisions of the Justice Assistance Grant Program. Signed. So I will so move that Ralph Sandora, President of Doddridge County Commission, act on our behalf and enter into a contractual agreement.
Okay, motion's been made. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried. I'll sign it for you, please. Item G, Middle Island Creek cleanup.
Okay, I talked to Greg about this and I put it on. As you know, Middle Island Creek is looking really bad, and when, after a time, the Army Corps of Engineers will come in and get on to you guys about it. At one time, we had someone that cleaned it out, kept it cleaned out, and so I was just wanting to know if you guys, I mean, you don't have to get the same person, there's other people do it. The gentleman that did it before was Bobby Samples from the Salem area. He and his crew do a wonderful job, but I don't even know if he still does it. And like I said, there's other people, I'm sure, that do that. But I thought maybe you might want to start thinking about.
How much area are we talking about?
I don't know what they did.
I think the agreement with the engineers was from the water plant to the pumping station.
Yeah, you're right.
I think there's an agreement with the
Pumping station?
But James always said it was from
From the water plant
to
to Tonkin Station.
And how often do they do it? I remember doing years ago.
I think we've done it twice since I've been here.
Had it-
Right in the season, summer, yeah.
It takes a long time,
Yeah,
especially when it's grown up so much like
Yeah,
this
it's
now.
really bad right now, and
okay.
they will eventually come in and tell you guys about it and make it. But I don't know whether,
Well,
you want to get it out and see who.
yeah, I'll make the motion, I'll move that we contract somebody to do the cleanup of the Island Creek. We'll take bids on it, and can you advertise that in here, we get a bid?
Your question?
Can you advertise the paper, accept bid?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Okay, motion's been made, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed?
I was
Nay. Ayes have it. Do you have any idea how much money we're even talking about in the past?
We can check back and see how much, but,
Would you please do that?
yes, we will. And what papers do you want it published in? How wide of an area?
I would go just with the local paper of Virginia, what we've been using, that's my opinion. If you want to go Clarksburg paper, that's fine. What do you two think about it?
What about the independent?
I don't know.
I say both.
Both papers?
You would do both of those in Clarksburg?
Yeah, it would be best to put in Clarksburg also, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
I would say that, I mean, there may be somebody in county, I don't know. But I would say probably Clarksburg also.
You can do those both if you want, see what you get.
Okay. Well, go ahead and look for
I'll look in the file and see. what
Okay.
we did before.
Okay.
We've got something to compare when we get there. Okay, that's good. Item H, Community Corrections Funding.
I will move that this be tabled. There are various actions being taken, and they are going to come, as I understand, we've requested that they come to the next meeting with, next,
Commission meeting
Next-
19th.
yes.
Could you please put them on the agenda?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, we have a meeting with them again on the 13th.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Item I, State Electric estimate for door replacement. David, do you want to speak on that?
I can, Tammy is on her way over, so if we could wait till she gets here, because she's actually in charge of security. So
Oh, okay.
if we just delay that.
Oh, yeah.
She's coming over,
Okay,
so.
okay. We can. No problem. Just don't let me forget it. 113 Cross Street property, electric meter installation. My understanding is that upstairs, is that what you said, Greg, upstairs?
That was what I was told.
The meter upstairs or whatever, and we are not concerned about the upstairs. We're not going to do anything with it at this time. So we're not concerned about the electric meter upstairs. Is that correct? Okay. We're going to take care of electric downstairs first.
There's one thing that I think that, and we may have to put this on the agenda for the next meeting, that those stairs up, going up there are potentially very dangerous. And I think that we should get somebody to I don't know if we have to, I don't think we would have to have it on the agenda and vote on it to instruct maybe the janitors to get something to barricade that and put up some tape or something. Because we've probably got some exposure there.
Okay, so in order to build a new set of stairs, are we covered with our agenda today to do that or not? It says 113 Cross Street property, electric meter, is that the only thing we can talk about today?
What do you think, Pat?
You're specific about what you put on there.
Well, okay, so please put it on the agenda for next time.
Stairs.
Stairs, please.
Yeah, the outside stairs.
Thank you. Outside stairs. Thank you.
Outside.
Yeah, outside.
Yeah, for the stairs to the, what do you want to call it, the second floor, the third floor?
Whatever.
The top floor.
Top floor.
That covers it.
That covers it. Item K, hillbilly truck repair towing.
I finally got to talk to this gentleman. He is coming down to the next meeting.
Next meeting.
Yes, because I told him, he gave me a little bit of information. I had to pull out of him. And I told him, I said, the commission's going to have questions to ask you. They're going to talk to you. So I said, I've been trying to get a hold of him. And so he said he will come down to the next meeting and talk to you and answer any questions you have. He said he did tell me they had property on Morgan's Run. I said, I know that for one thing they will ask you if you would be available, at any time to provide towing. And he said yes. We'll see. That he will be coming to the next meeting to talk to you himself.
Okay.
Which is good.
Fine. Okay, so put him on the agenda.
I got it.
Thank you.
Can I speak on that for a second, please?
You what?
Can I speak on that for a second?
Yes, you can.
I don't know why this is even on the agenda. This decision is mine and mine only. Dave's going to agree with me. An accident scene, once we get there, that's mine. It's my choice as to who comes. Take Nicholson's, they've been in the county for how many years? 30, 35 years. They do a great job. They're trained. They're there within 15 minutes. I'm not going to tie up my scene for 2 hours waiting on somebody to come from Fairmont. Nicholson's has been here through the poor, and now that it's good, you got somebody else coming from out of the county and wanting to take over. I'm not going to allow that to happen. Whether they open up a shop here or they don't open up a shop here, they're not going to be called. That's my take on it, and I believe Dave will agree with me on the fire department side.
I was concerned when I saw this on the agenda, knowing I'm not sure what was going to be in, but speaking from the fire service side of it, if you're waiting on which again, we don't call for records in the fire department. That's a law enforcement thing.
Right.
But I can see it certainly causing problems if fire service hardly has enough people anymore to go and deal with the emergency scene.
Right.
Let alone if we're going to have to stay there and flag traffic and waiting on an agency to get there from Marion County. So I was concerned, and I would suggest that before you all make a decision on that, if that's what it's going to come to, that you check with, well, you've already heard from your sheriff's department, but
I've heard from Sergeant Vessels also.
okay.
He's telling me the exact same thing you guys are telling me.
Okay. So my only suggestion would be, which has already been done, that you check with your sheriff's department, your fire service, your state police, and your 911 center is to get some feedback. That's going to have more reaching implications than just
Yep.
them.
And I have spoken with John at the 911 center. I've spoken to everybody involved.
So do I need to call this gentleman and tell him not to come? Or
What response did you get from everyone? Just
The response I got is what the sheriff said. You know, Nicholson is prompt. They come do the job, there's no problem, and they don't want to wait for an hour and a half, 2 hours for another record to come. They want the road cleaned up, blah, blah, blah. And that's what their job is. And if you're putting this before the commission to make a decision, we can make it today. It's on the agenda. It's up to the other two commissioners.
I think I don't know, he was the one that called and asked this to put on the agenda. None of us
he called
commissioners.
What it took to get on the
Yeah.
list.
I know that they've had quite a fight in Harrison County over a very similar issue. And I really didn't follow too closely what the results were, but you know, we've never had the problem. My only comment would be, you know, owning property in Doddridge County is not enough of a connection. If they were located in Doddridge County and we had competing agencies, then look at performance, etc. But I mean, I don't have any problem with it being tabled and carried over so that we could speak to him personally, and I'll say the same thing to him, that what I just said here, you know, you're going to have to establish a presence in Doddridge County before I would even begin to consider. And I hear what Mike and the other individuals are saying. You know, you don't want to wait for a period of time for somebody to arrive from a distance away, because we all know that everybody that's sitting in line or on the highway when there is an accident, you've got every one of them is a Monday morning quarterback, and they're all saying, "What's taking so much time?" You know, I've probably said the same thing myself at times, but anyway, I concur, and if they, I mean, I don't have any problem with them being on the agenda for next meeting and hearing what he has to say. You know,
Tammy, do you remember a few years ago, we tried to rotate different towing services and it never worked out. The only ones that would come was Nicholson's.
Yes.
Back whenever we had 911 down at the squad, there were competing services close by. And I think that we went back and looked at the law, and the law states that you have to be within the county limits, have a business, I think. And that's how we got by with just calling Nicholson's. Because remember, there was one up in Salem too?
Yeah. Well, Sergeant Vessel told me that if there's more than one service in the county, they go on a rotating basis.
Right.
But we only have one service in this county, so there is no rotation.
But you all travel around and all, do you know of anything on Morgan's Run?
Are you talking to me, Beth?
Whoever,
Okay, what was your question?
this gentleman told me that they had property on Morgan's Run. and that they would be, I said, would you be towing out of Morgan's Run? And he said, yes, that they had a place there. And I said, because I've been told, and it makes sense, that they don't want to have to wait an hour or two for towing service to get there when there's an accident. They need to clean the road and get it cleaned off. And I said, you know, they have to have somebody that's in the county that's available. And he said, yes, they would be available to do that. So do you know anything that's...
No, I was just through Morgan's Run probably a month ago, maybe, all the way through, so.
I could not find that either he personally or under the name of Hillbilly had property here. I couldn't find it on the tax act. Did you, David?
I mean, that doesn't sound familiar
I
at all.
didn't see anything.
I don't know where
on
they
the
would
tax
be at
rate.
on, there is
So
no
if he's got
business
something, he
on
has to be
Morgan's Run.
renting property. So I don't know.
The good thing about Nicholson's too
Yeah.
is he has a tow truck driver with a tow truck, like at home or wherever. And their response time to us in the fire departments, when we're out on car wrecks like that, is very, very minimal. You know, when we respond, the fire department has company threes tied up. If I respond, I'm tied up, and sometimes there's only one of us out, you know, especially in the middle of the night. So we don't have time to, people think we don't do anything, but we honestly don't have time to stand out on the freaking roadway for 2 hours waiting on somebody to come all the way. You know, we've got problems with these oil and gas companies because they want to wreck their water truck and then want us to sit there for 2 hours directing traffic for them while we wait for their tow company to come. You know, we've been into it a couple times with those kind of guys and said, listen, we're calling it. Well, Dave and his Sadie flagged traffic for me out 18 one day for a crane that went in the ditch out there. And we was out there for 3 hours, wasn't we? Waiting.
And we finally called for another service.
Yeah.
For Nicholson's,
Well,
because
then don't they sometimes, these big trucks, don't they have to have special
Well, see, that's the thing. Derek went,
What if it was a car or...
Derek went and bought a, what's it called, Mike? A
Rotator.
Rotator to be able to, I mean, he can tow anything for us now. So, I mean, he's equipped with everything. And I don't know hillbilly towing, but I don't know that they're equipped like Derek is to do the stuff that Derek does.
So those are just questions you have to ask.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it.
Well, and, go ahead.
As far as the property on Morgan's Run, that's a moot point as far as I'm concerned. Derek has worked all these years to get where he's at today. Why let somebody else come in and take over his, what he has?
I understand and agree with what you're saying. The only thing that I will want to know is what does the law say that we have to do? If the law says that if they have a presence in the county and if we, as a commission, denied them, then we would be in violation of that law. Now, I would still think that it would be up to the agencies to make a decision, and then you might end up having to deal with the law. And I think April can probably help us with that.
It did go to court in Harrison County and it got thrown out.
Did it?
Yes.
I don't think there is a law. I think it's kind of just like, because we've had to call Wilson's before. You know, we've had 3 or 4 wrecks in the wintertime at one point in time, and Derek had people out on all of them, didn't have more trucks. So we've had to call Wilson's, and then there's another company out of Clarksburg we've used a couple times too. And Derek has always been our primary, ever since I've been here for 9 years. Derek's always been our primary, and then we've had a secondary, like Wilson's or whoever could respond at that point in time. I honestly have never seen a law that states we have to use a specific towing company. It's kind of been always the officer's discretion, the fire department's discretion, whoever calls for a record, when we're on scene like that.
Well, if that's what the law says, then, if he wants to set up a towing service over on Morgan's Run, he's free to do that, and he could come to you all and talk to you all and say I'm available. But if it is the discretion of the sheriff's department or the state police or whatever agency, then that's your discretion.
Another thing, Nicholson's is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
There's never been a time that Derek has refused to come unless he had all the trucks out. It doesn't matter if they're calling whatever time of day or night. He has somebody there, or he's came a lot of times on his own. He's the only one that's equipped to run the rotator, so he always comes when it's a big truck.
Yeah.
And
We'll have April check, see if there's a law anywhere when she comes. We'll check that out. We want to abide by the law. Yes, we need to.
He will be here at August 19th at 6 o'clock. This guy.
Dave doesn't, isn't it in the, don't you all charge for accidents?
Fire department does, correct.
Is there like for the oil and gas companies, is there like an hourly fee? Or where you're there an extended period of time?
When Mr. Easter came and presented that to you all to allow the fire departments to bill, they discussed at that time, it goes to a billing agency. So similar to some of the EMSs use, like we basically fill out a form and it goes to the billing company, and then the billing company bills the insurance companies. So, and then it's if it's a hazmat incident, it's based off so much. If it's normally it's just a basic rate, unless it involves something more extensive, for example, hazardous materials, or some extended, unique circumstance. Normally it's just a basic rate.
Have you guys ever received any money yet?
Yes, sir, we have.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, we have.
Good. 'Cause I know you guys burn a lot of fuel.
We do.
Company
Yes.
free. That's all I hear is company free, company free, company free.
And I noted that previous year's budget, you all had requested, when I say you all, sorry about saying you all, but that you had requested monies for all the fire departments, but there was no request this year, so I guess I kind of assumed that you were doing okay.
I was, and again, I can only speak for one fire department,
Right.
and that is Smithburg Fire Department. I am the president of Smithburg Fire Department. And as you mentioned, and I have the reports from the 911 centers, I mean, that most of the time, the average calls for the departments in the county are anywhere from 12 to 25, and Company 3, which is Smithburg, usually shows 50. I mean, there's really, we have the paperwork to back that up, but I was concerned when I didn't see anything on the list when your donation list was being discussed, that there wasn't anything on there for the fire departments, because Mr. Easter came as OES director before and then requested that you all, that we be reimbursed for workers' comp and insurance.
Correct.
So I was hoping to see that on there again, but it obviously hasn't been, so. I haven't talked to him personally about that, so I don't know if he plans to do that again this year. I assumed it was going to be a yearly thing,
Yeah.
but I didn't know. I have not talked to him about it, so.
Now, when you mentioned,
I can tell you that the Smithburg Fire Department is surviving.
okay, but when you mentioned so many calls, you talking like 50 calls for the year or what?
A month.
A month?
A month.
Okay.
Back in 5 to 7 years ago, the Smithburg Fire Department ran 12 to 17 calls a month. because of different circumstances, but mainly because of the increase in activity in the county, and that, for one thing, just traffic.
Yeah.
Our calls are tremendous. We struggle.
How many calls are medical calls that you all are handling? Where you assist the DCAA or the DCMS?
I naturally didn't come prepared to discuss any of this today, but many medical calls are run, yes.
I believe right now they're right at 400 some calls per year. So
Yesterday there were 7 calls total. 2 of them were wrecks, 1 with entrapment, and the other 5 were medical related issues. That's of yesterday. That's the only figures I have at hand. But definitely the fire services, as I've spoken with you all in the past, in the county, are definitely at a low right now when it comes to personnel that are available. Like it's very difficult anymore for fire departments to get out and to try to maintain and to make budget without any county assistance right now, without any levy. Right now, the only funding that fire departments have in general is the money that we receive from the state, from the premiums off the Bureau fire insurance, and any donations that it's received, and then any of the money that is received through the billing that the fire department bill.
Thanks, David. Tammy, guess you're up. Talk to us about the door. Sorry.
Can we take a break?
If necessary.
Depends on how long she's gonna be.
Yes.
It's less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to pass a buck on Dave, but I was on vacation when all this stuff came up. So he and I talked about it, but he knows a little bit more about it than I do, so he can talk.
Well, it's gonna be more than 5 minutes, I can tell you that.
I'll cut him off in 5 minutes.
I've got a timer.
This was in with the grant originally,
Yes.
and the grant was cut. It was approved. I don't know the details on that, but we was going to put this door in, and it wasn't. The grant got cut.
Right.
So this is something that is necessary. This is the door that goes into the boiler room. And without going into detail, this door, this room needs to be secure. There is much equipment in that room that is vital to the activity of this courthouse, and should have been from years ago. A better door should have been put in there. What they're proposing here is a fire rated door, metal door, fire rated, 90 minutes. There was a concern of ventilation in that boiler room because of, naturally, for the boiler being in there, it should be a fire rated door. There was concern that with the door, with the heat that's in that room and the ventilation. So in this is a louver door, but it's still fire rated. Once it becomes warm enough, why then the louver shut. And this is full. The door, the installation, this puts the door on the Cantac security system, where with the controlled access to get in.
And that cost was $6,000?
3,000.
$3,854.87.
Okay, I have one question. Didn't you just apply for another grant, Tammy?
Yeah, it's been approved. We applied for 70-some thousand, and we got 50-some thousand, I believe.
Okay, but this door.
This door originally was in that grant, and like Dave said, the grant got cut $17,000 from what I originally applied for.
Okay.
So when Brian and I met, State Electric, we met before our little vacation, and trying to prioritize everything, which this is very important. This was on top of the list. But we're not going to be able to secure, like, again, the prosecutor's office, because she got cut out of the grant last year. And if we can get this paid by you all or by the county, then we can still hopefully get Brooks' office up there secured for her and get her on the P&Tech system as well. And then everything that we put in the grant will be approved.
Okay.
I mean, we'll be able to take care of it.
Well, are you done?
Yes,
I will move that we.
don't ask him the question, we're done.
I will move that we purchase the door and have it installed. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, nay, ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David, it seems like you and I are getting our reputation.
No, you've already had it.
Already had it, okay.
We're on break.
All right.
Well, 10 minutes is up, sorry. I think the only thing we're waiting on is.
Ralph,
Yeah.
this is, if you all don't know him, this is Travis.
Grant.
Thank you, Travis Grant, and he works for the Independent. So
Oh, okay.
I asked him if he
Hi,
was
Travis.
missing or what. and
I thought it was
Grant?
Warren's son.
Grant, did I owe you on a school bus? My God, you got big.
He's my neighbor.
Huh?
He
The
lives right
reason,
across the
the
street.
reason we.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You used to live rigging and running.
He and his brother Levi, that when Beth and I left to go to,
They have two different locations.
we go
They
back
will pay. They're
yeah,
not
to the auditor's training. My mom came out on the porch with us as we were leaving.
They will be out.
So when she went to go back in the house, she fell on the porch. And thank goodness she fell on the porch because she kept hollering and Travis and his brother Levi heard her. And they went over and got her up.
Well, it's like him,
And
it's a
she
band.
fell
I was wanting them
inside.
on.
She'd have been there till Lily come in the evening.
You know,
Wow.
the
Good
thing
job.
is, you click on buttons.
I know, I'd seen
I
you
was
before, but I
calling
just
one
couldn't
thing.
place who you were
Whenever we
either.
went
Yeah,
to
he's
the
been
IT
working
guy,
down
with
West
the-
End.
Oh,
and
He
he
told me
told
this
us,
is where he worked
he was
for the
calling something
Independent.
else. And we just were not on the same page. They put.
So I guess, the only thing we got left is,
And covered over the courthouse.
we got a floodplain permit. That miss anything, Bert?
What?
The website.
Don't miss anything?
To work. These guys just take a look at it.
Okay. We
Thank you.
go back in the regular session.
Whenever they leave, just go break.
Just took a break, okay.
Break's over.
Where was Pat?
Huh?
Where was Pat this night?
Fishing.
He's fishing.
See, the meeting was supposed to be the other day.
He didn't call me and ask me if he could.
He asked me if he could go.
Oh, okay.
I said, go ahead. Go.
Now tell us what you told us.
I said, if you got an opening, call me, because I want to go with you.
Yeah, he was going to desert us.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee if you'd called me, I would have been here.
That was
Sorry.
And Shirley was going to fire me. Been fired for better jobs than this.
Oh, you don't mind saying.
Go back there.
Bo, you're up.
All right.
Floodplain permit.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
Over the past 2 weeks, we have received 9 total applications for floodplain permits, 4 of those being outside the floodplain entirely, 5 within. The numbers range from permit number 14245 to 14253. We've got a full report, which newspapers have. Over the same period of time, we have approved 9 total permits. That includes the 4 that came in that were outside the floodplain. Those automatically got approved because we had no regulatory authority over them. The other 5 were existing permits for number 14-208 for the North Canton Connector Pipeline for Antero. Number 14209, the EQT Neely Storage Yard. 14-215, the Antero's Arnold Creek Withdrawal and Diane Davis Water Line. 14-223, the Diane Davis Pipeline. 14-230, Crestwood Marcellus Midstream LLC, Snake Run Pipeline. So those were the ones that had been pending, and we're waiting on additional permits, things of that nature. All the appropriate permits came in. We were able to go ahead and authorize those pending. We currently still have 6 pending permits. We're still waiting on just some additional data from 14-229, which is Crestwood Marcellus Midstream LLC. That's their Victor and Brooks pipeline. We're still waiting on Army Corps from that. 14-247, Crestwood Marcellus LLC, tie-in to Susie James pipeline. 14-250, these are new ones that just came in that are still pending. 14-250, CNS Gas Company LLC. It's called the Red Orange Water Line. It's a 0.48 mile water line construction, which will involve road construction, temporary bridge construction. And we're awaiting additional permits from other regulatory agencies. 14-251, CNS Gas Company LLC. Again, another water line, this from orange to blue. And that is a 1.94 mile water line construction. Same road construction, no bridges. 14-252 is for EQT, and it's the OX11 pipeline. That's a 5.37 mile gas pipeline. Road construction and temporary bridge construction is included in the project. Again, awaiting additional permit approvals from other regulatory agencies. And 14-253 Cone Gathering LLC, which is a connector Meathouse Fork to the OX11 water line. And that's an 8.3 mile water line construction. Road construction and temporary bridge construction included with the project. And so we're still waiting on additional permits from Army Corps and other regulatory bodies for that. So, yes.
On your approved list,
Yes.
you have all required permit approval letters received per Antero. You've got that on 3 or 4 here.
Correct.
Do you not get copies of those?
What we're requesting are the actual approval letters of the permits that they submit. Now, some of the companies actually submit to us as well. Thrasher's good about this, actually presenting us with the actual full packet of information that they provide to the other regulatory bodies. We don't necessarily need that. What I need to see is the approval letters from the regulatory bodies.
But this says it's...
Yeah, we've got copies of all that. That's why when I'm saying per Antero, they're telling me that yes, they have received everything, and we've received all the copies of the approval letters.
But you haven't.
Yeah, we do have the approval letters, and those are in the files now. So we're making sure that all those go into the files, and so that way we're covered, doing what we're supposed to be doing. So yeah. So it seems to be slowing down a little bit, although there were 9 over the past 2 weeks. Construction season is pretty well winding down. So it should start to get a little bit lighter as far as the actual new permits coming in. Like I said, we've only got the 6 that are still pending, including 5 that just came in. So it's pretty well winding down. Everything that's been in is approved. The companies are working, doing their stuff, and we'll just take it as it comes. So next couple of weeks, I'll be digging back into the files and trying to make sure the files are updated and complete, and that's it. It's basically got the maintenance.
I got a question. Do you remember out on Big Flint, by that church where all that activity was? What's happening there?
That's still, as far as I know, that's still shut down from an original stop work order that was placed a long time ago. I haven't been back out into that area, but I know that they weren't doing any further work on that.
Okay, thank you.
The bridge that you and I went out and looked at, anything further on that?
I haven't been able to get anything done on that yet. I'm still hoping to, because it needs to come out of there. It needs to come out. It's obviously not good. So that needs to come out of there.
Have you been able to contact
Not yet.
the individuals?
Not yet.
But you,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I was on vacation for a week, and then last week we were in class all week. So
That's the bridge I wanted to meet the guy that never did find it.
Which I can run you out there at any time.
I think I know where it's at. Close to center point.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not familiar with the
No.
area.
Yeah, it's on Big Flint. isn't it?
So they went to a different one.
Yeah.
This one's on Big Flint. I know that.
Well, no wonder I didn't find it.
Yeah.
See, there's two different bridges. The one that they were talking about here that was reported is on outside of Center Point,
Yeah.
okay? Not over on Flint.
I think, yeah, we're dealing with two separate ones.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's why you can find us.
Yeah. Well, there's one over on Route 23 that you need to, it's got to be removed.
as well.
That's, I think, JB Oil and Gas. I think they're the one that put
I
that
think
in.
that's what everybody had said originally.
Yeah. They go through and screw up a lot of stuff and leave. Sorry,
We'll get working on it.
messed up a lot of stuff.
You represented Doddridge County very well last week at the meeting. Katie would come in the room at 4:30 and she had kind of a deer in the headlight look, you know. But they took her test, she passed.
Both have.
Yes.
Katie actually scored better than I did.
Oh, boy.
Oh my, has she let
Okay.
you forget that yet?
She hasn't brought it up. I keep bringing it up.
We're waiting on
April's coming.
April.
She's coming.
And
Oh,
to,
okay.
to go back, it's all, speaking of the devil. Just
Go ahead.
let me, you know, at the last two county commission meetings that we've been at, Kevin Sneed has been there and was a speaker, and each time he has been very, very complimentary of the Doddridge County floodplain ordinance
Oh, yeah.
and our system. So, and everybody keeps saying Doddridge County did it right. So we're kind of the leader in the state according to those individuals. So much difficulty as we had, it's kind of nice to get a pat on the back.
Makes you feel good, sitting down there in a room, all those people, and they say Doddridge County, the state is adopting a new ordinance. And I raised my hand, so I got a question. Does that mean we have to have another ordinance? No, we're adopting Doddridge County ordinance. Where's our compensation? We're not getting any.
Always thinking, Butch. You're
Thank
always
you.
thinking.
I know that. Okay. We're waiting on April.
I'm here.
Okay. Well, we forgot what we was going to ask.
I mean,
Item E, sorry. Did you have any information for us for fees for permits outside the floodplain?
The fees themselves are something that you all will need to establish, and I suggest that we go into executive session so that we can talk about all of what that will entail, because I have questions for you that I think we need to discuss.
Okay. I will move, we go into executive session and discuss fees for permits. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. We're in executive
Mr.
session.
Mr. President,
Yes.
could I be granted to be in that executive session? Some of this permitting falls under section 11-3-A of West Virginia State Code, which is the assessor's office.
Yes. Permission granted, sir.
Did you want
We're
me
in
to?
executive session at 10:44. Can we go in your office, or do we want
Yes.
people to leave this room here?
We can go in now.
Well, I'd rather stay in here. Okay? Okay, better stay here. More coming.
No, but
I said, where's April? And they said, well, she brought her lunch, she's upstairs, and I said, I thought she might be in one of those places with a little, mom's gonna be really
No,
upset.
I wish.
You don't go without.
I won't, but ditto, don't you either.
I move we go back in regular session. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, back in regular session, 12:06. Now, my question is, we've conducted everything on here that we need to.
I think we need to say that there is, at this time, there's no action going to be taken on the issue that we went into executive session for.
Okay, sorry.
Was that about personnel or legal issues?
I mean, it could be, there were, those items were mentioned.
Okay, no action taken on the matter we went into executive session for.
These, item E.
Item E. These are minutes out of order. No action taken. All the rest of our business has been conducted with the exception of our invoices. That's it. Are we going to do them now? We're going to go to lunch, come back and do them. What's your pleasure?
I'd say it's at your pleasure.
Oh, I'd say we're here. Let's do them. What do you say? You all right? You're not going to pass out, are you?
There are,
Any budget revision? One?
let me know, there's one, here's two. That's all I see, she usually has hers on top. So
Okay.
Did you put one under your elbow there?
no, this is,
Okay.
this is exonerations and
Budget revision. It looks like for $2,000 for county commission dues. No, sorry. County commission dues $500. And commission taxes and fees $1,500. Total of $2,000. Okay, you want to do one at a time, or you want to do them both at the same time?
One at a time.
Huh?
She usually wants you to do them one at a time.
Okay, in-house resolution, $2,000. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. I can sign this, yes. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Have it. Okay. Got another budget revision. Coal severance fund. Okay. Okay, coal severance fund. It looks like we're increasing it by $4,226.
4,226?
That's what it looks to me like. $4,226 increase. Okay, all in favor? Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it.